Good day to you. My name is Tony Ballinger, and I'm responding to Jonathan Sale's very good initiative to bring into remembrance the guys that we served with or guys that we knew who died in the Bush War in Rhodesia. And I've risen to the occasion, and I'm going to give testimonies about 6 guys that I knew. I didn't serve with all of them, but they all deserve remembrance. I knew them personally. And so without further ado, I'd like to first of all start off with Field Reservist Manred Bonin. Manred was a German immigrant to Rhodesia, and he was a piano tuner, and he was the husband of a family that we spent a lot of time with in our youth, the Bonins. He was married to Barbara Bonin, and a wonderful guy, full of humour, full of life, full of laughter. Well, in January 1974, he was a field reservist in the BSAP, and his role on the day that he died was to guard a farmhouse. And he did that. It was in the evening, and unfortunately, the farmer came home a few sheets to the wind, and he mistook Manred for a terrorist and shot him. It was a tremendous shock to all of us, our family, their family. He was a wonderful guy. Manred would have been a wonderful father, but never had the opportunity to express that. The next one is Phil Lang. Now, Phil, I went through Osby's with him. He was a wonderful guy. He was quiet. He was a real gentleman. He was very genteel around ladies. I got to know him really well after the war. Him and his wife Janet produced 2 or 3 lovely children. And the reason why I'm including Phil, although he didn't die in the war, he died at the hands of the people he fought. And he went through Osby's. He was in 4 in depth with me, 4 in depth Rhodesia Regiment up at Vic Falls. I think he commanded 5th Platoon. But at the end of the war, he pursued his profession, which was being an accountant, and he was posted up to the tea estates in the Eastern Highlands to do some accounting work there and auditing. And it was at that time that Mugabe's thugs were agitating against Tony Blair and the assets that the British owned in the country. And unfortunately, Phil became a target of their thugs and very sadly died a rather nasty death. But he was a wonderful guy, and he deserves inclusion here, in my opinion, because the war never really ended because of the way he died. Then there's Derek Kingsley Jones. He was a 2nd lieutenant with 4 in depth. Right about towards the end of my national service, I think he was intake 155 or thereabouts, came to relieve us at 4 in depth in Vic Falls. And on the 16th of June 1977, he went out on patrol in the Zambezi Valley area and had a contact with some terrorists on the river line, and unfortunately lost his life. Now, Derek, I only knew him for a few hours, but I just saw in him a really nice guy. He was still wearing his tracksuit from Churchill School when I first saw him. That was in the mess at Vic Falls at the army camp, sitting there drinking a cup of tea and eating some sandwiches, and we got talking about Churchill School. And so, I very quickly, within a few hours, became friendly with him and thought, what a wonderful young man. Then, obviously, that evening, he went out on patrol and lost his life in a contact. The other guys I'd like to bring into remembrance are Corporal Roy Orchard, Dave Krugger, I think he was also a corporal, Tom Shipley, and they were out on patrol up in the Ballinger area, and they unfortunately made the mistake of getting onto the back of a police Land Rover to hasten their ability to get to a store that had been robbed. This is what my 45-year-old memory tells me anyway. And unfortunately, not too many kilometers down the road, the rear wheel hit a landmine, and they they were obviously very severely impacted by this mine. And within a few short hours, Dave, Roy, and Tom had lost their lives. Now, Dave Krugger was a character of note. I went to school with him. He was a real live wire. If there was a party anywhere, Dave would have either caused the party or was in it. A real live wire and happy all the time, always goofing about, always playing pranks on people. He was very good on bagpipes. When Churchill represented Rhodesia in the World Bagpipe Competition, I believe he was in that, as you'll see from the photographs that are being shown on the screen. Even out in the bush, he had his bagpipes. He was a character, and his passing away is very, very sad for me. I remember at the School of Infantry, one of the course instructors said to us, "You guys must take your training seriously because it's a real war out there, and one of you is going to lose your lives." And I just happened to look at him, and he looked really downcast when that instructor said that. And unfortunately, it transpired into being a true statement for him. But what a wonderful young man. The other one is Roy Orchard. He was one of my corporals, and he was also killed in that landmine. Very, very sad loss. I just remember a little gap between his teeth, and he was always smiling, happy, happy young man, just goofing about in life as you do as a young person. Quite the ladies' man, very polite, very respectful of rank, just a first-class human being. And the other one was Tom Shipley. I didn't know Tom that much or that well, but the thing that struck me about him is his quiet, polite, sort of reserved character and nature. And whenever I went into the ops room, he was always at the radio. He never ever seemed to leave that radio. It was like it was joined to him. He was a lovely young man, and unfortunately, in that same landmine, Nick Wilson, L.B. Lowe, and Cole Coleman got very badly injured. Coleman unfortunately got paralyzed in that same explosion, and yeah, he later on passed away. But the thing that I want to say about all of these guys is that even though it's 45, 46 years later, I've never forgotten you. I raise a glass to you whenever I can. And you were fine young men, and it saddens me that I've enjoyed so much in life, getting married, having children, and all that type of thing, and you guys have not experienced that. And so it's important that we remember you. And if any of your family members are watching, I just want to say all of them, without exception, were fantastic men, and I take my hat off to them. So that's really all I have to say, and thank you for this opportunity, John, for doing this for the Rhodesian community. Thank you.